Hey, what's up, family? This is going to be another episode of Who Should Be the True Face of Crime. And this is going to be episode 2. It's also going to be entitled Civilized the World or Polluted the World. Okay, we're going to go into how they so-called civilized the planet Earth by really just polluting the planet Earth and destroying the planet Earth and the life within the planet Earth, the water, the animals. And, it would take me multiple episodes to kind of go into the deep intricacies of what's been affected by this. But I want to talk about a few points. And I'm going to play a few videos here so you can see an illustration of what has been done, because the earth is in a terrible state. No matter what they tell you, the earth is in a terrible state right now. People's health are in a terrible state. The animals are in a terrible state. People are depressed. People are, the poverty line is, the poverty is increasing while the rich is getting richer. This is all that's happening. And this is all that has been happening since they've been in power. Never mind the smoke screens and the gaslighting. Look at what's actually happening. All right. So I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to break it down as we go.
Coal is a fossil fuel that is found underground. Coal's very old and is formed when a dead plant decays into a substance called peat. Over many years, as the peat gets buried deeper underneath the Earth's surface, pressure and heat transform it into a rock. That rock we call coal. Coal is burnt to produce heat and energy. Coal was the Victorians' main source of power.
And you see what the coal has been used for, right? The Industrial Revolution, so that these elites can increase their profit, okay? The coal was used as something to burn, but as it was burning, it was releasing toxic chemicals into the atmosphere, okay? And now they're speaking about saving the earth, when really the earth under their rulership is far beyond saving, okay?
In the Victorian times, coal was burnt to generate power by using steam. It was also used for cooking, heating, transport, and it was used in factories to power machinery and to heat furnaces for metalworking. With the Industrial Revolution came a much bigger demand for coal. The Victorians dug mines deep underground using tools.
Okay, a much bigger demand to feed their greed. See, they try to paint this as something just lighthearted, we are just polluting the whole planet Earth. And we're using our greed and lust to basically to misuse the resources of the planet Earth. All right. And they speak about like it's just a light thing. Right. And they knew the effects of this. They knew the effects of the forever chemicals, but they still did it anyway, because these people, first of all, they're heartless, number one. And number two, they're not smart. They're not intelligent. They don't understand that they have to live in the same planet that they are destroying. They're going to have to drink the same water that they are polluting. But this is what they call civilization. No, the way the Native Americans were living was better. The way the West Africans were living was better. Okay?
Like pickaxes and shovels. They used ponies and children to push and pull carts of coal back up to the surface of the earth. Later, with the invention of steam engines and the use of the steam technology down the mines, the process of transporting coal became easier and faster.
And not to mention, there was many toxins that those people were inhaling, and they were basically destroying themselves. They were basically like using them as human guinea pigs to go and get those things, and knowing that it's going to destroy them. But they didn't give a damn, because they looked at those people, even though they're their own people, as nothing more than slaves.
In areas in the Midlands, in towns like Dudley and Ironbridge, in the north and the northeast in Newcastle and Durham, and in Scotland, mining towns grew as the demand for coal increased. The growth of the mining industry created jobs which attracted people from the countryside to the cities and towns to work for mining companies. Entire families would work down the mines for an agreed amount of coal. Every member of the family would work to collect the coal, including pregnant ladies and children as young as 4.
So these low lives had pregnant women working in these toxic environments. And they're just talking about it, and children as young as 4, and they're talking about like this is just it was just some cute history. No, this is very evil. Okay, this is very evil. All right, and that shows you that those people that were doing that, first of all, they had no clue what was going on, or what they were doing. Okay, so these are the people. This is the civilization they're talking about. This is civilized. Hey, real men would never allow their women and children to do something like that. Real men say, "Nah, don't do that. That's toxic. Forget about that. We'll find another way to make money." Okay. See, but like I said, it's their greed and their lust that drives them. You know, as one of my big homies said, they don't have morals, they have morale. That's what my big homie said. He always says that. They don't have morals, they have morale.
It was unhealthy work and could be very dangerous. There were threats of explosions and stories of collapsed mines where the wooden beams holding up the tunnels has given way because of the weight of the soil above them. Poisonous gases like methane and carbon monoxide lingered in the air. The mines were cold, damp and dark. Inventions like the steam engine, the waterworks, the Davy lamp and the air pump sped up mining production and helped to improve the working conditions in the mines.
So as you can see, that was a destructive history. That was very destructive, what you just saw there. Okay, that destroyed the people, and then eventually what they did was they colonized the rest of the planet Earth, because this started in the 1700s. Then they colonized the rest of the planet Earth and forced them, right, to do this type of use this coal, right, as to power their resource extraction. So they forced the rest of the planet to use this. And now you have places like Hong Kong that are super polluted. You got places like India that are super polluted. And then these same people, these same pink people will point at these people and tell them, oh, look how polluted your land is, when they force them into that lifestyle in order for their own, for what? For their own greed. For what? For resource extraction. You got to understand the history of this thing, man. And I remember there's one Indian fella who said that, he said, listen, you guys are getting down, because they were getting down on the Indians for pollution or whatever. And they said, you guys forced us into using coal, right? See, they don't want to acknowledge the true history. See, they're expecting you to be ignorant. This is why you can't be ignorant of this history. Okay. This is why you cannot be ignorant of this history, brothers. All right. So I'm going to show you another one. Give me a second. I'm going to show you another one. There we go. Let's do this one. I hope y'all are watching. Okay, I hope y'all are watching. Let's play this. It says, hold on. And I may have to kind of speak in code, because YouTube is sensitive, because anyways, right? It says medicines we use have polluted the world's rivers, okay, and pose a threat to environmental and global HEALT to the H. Okay, so these things that they create, these concoctions, right, that they create, right, because that's what they are. They're concoctions, right? We've been using the earth and the herbs for so long, and now people are starting to go back to it, when it comes to healing and things of that nature, right? Because they deemed them at a certain time as quacks, the people that use the herbs and natural healing, which that has been used for centuries, man. But then they deemed them as quacks so that they can bring in their pharmakia, right? So I'll say it in that way. Like I said, I got to speak in code, right? But what you see now is even the rivers around the planet are affected by this in a negative way. You got these fishes that are drugged up, right? These whales that are drugged up, that have plastic in them, you know? So this is what the civilization that they have created, the destruction of the planet. Research, hold on, research, hold on. Researchers from around the world sampled 258 rivers. So it's not just America, it's around the world. Like I said, they have destroyed the planet with their so-called civilization. You got it's not something small. Oh, oops. It's not a oops. I just, oops, we just destroyed the planet. This is a major thing. And these people are pumping their chest about talking like they have saved the planet. This is the hypocrisy of it all. This is the madness of it all. The majority of them are what? Are active pharmakia ingredients. I got to speak like that. We're in such a sick, twisted, evil world that you got to speak in code about the truth. Above levels, hold on, it says above levels deemed potentially harmful, right? So what's affected by that? The animals, the birds, that eat the fish, the whole ecosystem is off. Okay? And I really don't have to play anymore, man. You see exactly what's going on. And this is what I'm saying here. These are criminals. Okay? These people that run the planet are criminals. So when Stephen Miller says, we built empires and this and that and all that, and jumping up and down with his low testosterone self, okay? Right? His low testosterone having self, right? He's jumping up and down talking about we build empires. You've destroyed the planet Earth. And don't you ever forget that. Okay? This is the facts of the matter. And this is, listen, there's so much things. I would be here for days going into how much they have destroyed the planet and life on Earth, period, with their way of life. Okay? So we're gonna end it off on that. And I just want to touch on that. That's right. So never forget, they destroyed the planet with their so-called civilization, and these are criminals. Because if somebody were to go and spray a raid, right, which people have been arrested for that, spraying raid on fruits and vegetables at the grocery store, they would get arrested and charged with a felony, right? Rightfully so, right? Because you're putting people in danger. But they go ahead and spray pesticides and put all kind of chemicals in your food, and that's okay. No, these are worse criminals. Okay? These are worse criminals. Pollute the whole water source of the planet Earth. Where you used to be able to just, when Native Americans were, you could just go to the river, put your hand in the river, and drink the water. You can't do that now. You do that now, you'll yeah, you'll be bedridden. Okay? So understand the reality of the situation that we're in. And with that, I'm out.